everyone. Welcome to class. So if this is your first time to work out with me, welcome. My name is Irene. I'll be here to guide you through practice for today. So again, if this is your first time to do a class, maybe a yoga class, you might go and find yourself props. So I have a block here with me. I have one. You can find yourself one or two. You can also find yourself probably maybe like pillows if you don't have blocks, like maybe, long towels, or maybe anything that can give yourself support for today's practice, because sometimes we're going to lie down, sometimes we're going to sit. So feel free to find yourself some props. You can also find a chair if you want. I only have here my block, but I'm going to guide you through it whenever you feel like you need it. So anything that we're going to do today, it has a lot of options. It has a lot of progressions as well, but in no means this should be what you're doing, whatever it is that I'm doing. So that's why we have options. All right. So what we're going to try to practice today is we're going to do a yoga for your lower back pain. Yoga for any kind of relief allows us the space to see what the symptoms of the pain is or where it's coming from, and then from there we'll see what we can address. Some stretches or some openings that we'll do so that we can find blood flow through it, and it allows us to reduce recovery time and whatever it is that we're doing. It prevents re-injury if we have any on that specific part of our body in our pose. But again, yoga is here to just give you space to stretch, to release any tension, but in no means this is the way to really remove the pain from it all. We'll always have to seek medical advice from our professionals. All right. So what we're going to do, since we are addressing low back pain relief, is that we're going to try to strengthen. That's the most important one. We're going to stretch the muscles as well to reduce any inflammation and increase circulation of blood. All right, and of course, and pain, we're going to try to remove it. And of course, try, if you are familiar with your pranas and the energies that flow through our body, that is what we're going to do as well. We're trying to let the blood flow. We're going to try to let the energy flow as well. Okay, so what we're going to try to do first is a pranayama practice or a breath work. If you haven't done any breath work practice before, I'm going to do it. We're going to go and start first with this Dirga Pranayama. This is what we call it in Hindu. So it's a 3-part breath. Okay, I'm just going to go here just so it's easier for you to see me, but I'm going to go there later once we're through. So with Dirga Pranayama, it's a 3-part breath compared to the other yoga practices or yoga breathwork meditation that we have, wherein we focus on the 4 parts of the breath. The inhale, the space in between, the exhale, and the space between. And this part alone, we're going to focus on 3 parts, especially in our body. So the first one is here in our lower belly. So we're going to try to breathe in through that space. So remember, when you breathe, it's almost always like feeling our chest rising and falling, right? And then the shoulders coming up, shrugging in and down. In this practice, we're going to try to breathe in through first our lower belly. So allow it to gently press forward. Maybe find a palm there, press it in. And then the next part will be here in our lower chest. So maybe just here at the bottom, maybe here in our ribs, or low ribs even. Here, just at the top of the navel like that. And then the next one, the last part, would be here in our low. So allow it to give yourself a little bit of a press there, but not rising like that, but rather really reaching forward. All right. So when we do an inhale, we start from our lower belly and then our lower chest. It's expanding, and then our lower throat. And then when we exhale, it goes the other way around. So it's in the lower throat first, and then here in the lower belly, and here in our lower chest, and here in our lower belly, like that. All right. So it allows us to release any tension in our core. That means here in our midsection, in our shoulders, and of course in our back. This is what we want so that we can start our practice in releasing any tension that there may be, especially in our lower back. Okay. So whenever you're ready, we're going to do this for 5 cycles of the breath. So give yourself a nice seat. We've done this the last time. If you have a block, if you have pillows, blankets, go ahead and feel free to take a seat there. If you think that sitting on a chair is not going to be okay, give yourself, if sitting at the floor is not okay, give yourself on a chair. I have my plyo box here with me. Sometimes I use that when I feel like sitting down is not too much, and especially if I have a low back pain. Sitting down on the floor is not good. So give yourself permission to sit down in a chair, probably the one that has a rest on the back, so that you can sit properly. Allow the spine to feel tall and straight. All right, so let's get started. So I'm gonna be here. I have my block here with me, and then I'm gonna find myself in my easy sitting pose. Looks for you today. All right, and then take one hand here on my lower belly, another here on my chest at the lower part, just at the top of the navel. All right, and then on my inhale, I'm gonna roll the shoulders to the ears, and I'm gonna press it back, and I'm gonna press it down like that, lifting my heart a little bit more open, feeling the crown of your head up to the sky, reaching. And then I give yourself permission to gaze forward, find something in front of you, something that's not moving. Doesn't have to be the screen, just follow my voice. Or gaze down to the top of your mat, or close your eyes if it feels good, if it feels safe. And just follow my voice, and let's go through this practice. Give yourself permission to be here in your present moment. Give yourself permission to meditate, to take care of yourself. Anything that feels like we don't need for the rest of the hour, put them on the side. Anything that you're carrying in your shoulders, put them down. And just be here for yourself. Let's go and start your practice. Let me guide you through our meditation and our breath work. On your inhale through the nose, exhale out through the nose. One more, breathing in and breathing out, gentle and soft. One more round, inhale through the nose, exhale out through the nose. This time around, let's try your 3-part breath. Inhale to the lower belly, and to the low chest, and to the low throat. Exhale, release the low throat, release the low chest, and then release the low belly. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to the low belly, let it expand. Expand the lower chest, open the ribs. Expand the low throat, open the heart. Exhale, release the low throat, release the ribs, let the belly shrink in. One more round. Inhale to the lower belly, to the lower chest, and then to the throat. Exhale, release the heart, release the chest, release the belly. 2 more rounds. Inhale through the belly, and then to the chest, and then to the throat. Exhale, release, release, release. One last round. Inhale through the belly, and then to the chest, and then through the throat. And exhale, releasing the throat, releasing the chest, releasing the belly. Slowly relax and just notice how you breathe, and notice how you feel. And sometimes when pain is here in our body, give ourselves awareness that we also have space to release and take down a little bit more time for ourselves, slowing in, slowing the breath. Give ourselves some space for longer holds, for a slow and gentle flow in a world that celebrates the hustle, the point of being fast, of doing everything at a specific moment, at a specific timeline. In this practice alone, we're going to celebrate the rest. We're going to celebrate the slow. Whenever you're ready, you're going to open the eyes. Welcome back to your present moment. Let's start your practice. On your next inhale, we're going to extend all of your hands up and overhead, hands in prayer. And then on your exhale, hands in prayer to the heart. Bow down as if gazing into your own heart. We usually say namaste. Feel free to do that as well. Do just cue in any questions and or comments, all right? And someone for sure will answer you in. So going to our tabletop this time. Shoulders, again, stack on your wrists. Open the fingers out wide. Hips are going to be on the knees like this. Find your tabletop. Now, If you feel like your mats are too thin for today, because some mats, well, all mats are not made the same. I'm going to give you an option to double your mat, but we're going to double it from the side like this so that you can go and protect your joints, your wrists, and your knees like that. Okay? So you can do it both on the opposite side as well. So from the side of your mat, that's how you're going to fold it. So it's easier. Okay. You can also find blankets or pillows, find them on your knees and on your hands. Some props have shoulder pads or knee pads. You can use that as well, okay? So let's go and find your practice here on your tabletop. Give yourself permission to slow down for a bit. Inhale through the nose and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth. Soften the face, relax the neck once you're there. And then let's go do your cat and cow. So once you feel you're good, we're going to do your cat and cow. So from your tailbone, we're going to visualize your tailbone rooting towards the crown of your head. So how do we do that? So I'm from the tailbone first. So tailbone is going to point towards your sky, and then your belly is going to drop down. The ribs are going to come out here. You're going to roll your shoulder blades down and back so that you can press your heart forward. You can gaze forward or gaze up. And then on your exhale, you're going to round the back here. So from the tailbone again. So tuck the tailbone, pressing or pointing to the knees, and then your belly will rise. Chin will press the chest. Shoulder blades will widen to the sides. We're going to press from your hands here. Let's do that one more round. Inhale through the nose, tailbone first, belly down. The heart is pressing forward. You can gaze forward or up. And then exhale around the back to your cat. Tuck the tailbone, ribs in, belly in. Press from your hands, press from your knees, chin to chest. One more. You can do this with your eyes closed. Inhale to your cow. Open the heart. And then exhale around the back to your cat. Very nice. One more. Inhale to your cow. Open the heart. And then exhale to your cat. Noticing each and every vertebrae. Wake up. Open up for you. In your own pace. In your own breath. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And then slowly release. Come back to your neutral spine, making sure nothing is painful. And then we're going to try to take a seat first at the back of your mat. Very nice. So if that feels good enough, you'll feel that there's a little bit of a relief on your low back. Take your hands, clasp it in, and then find infinity circles on your hands. If that feels too much on your wrists, give yourself permission to open the wrists also before any practice in your yoga, so that when you go and step into the mat, your wrists are already good. Okay? So let me know if your cat and cow did you any good for your low back. And just releasing, maybe shaking it, making sure nothing is painful, all right? And then once you're good, we're going to go and try the next one. So the next one would be our favorite one, our child's pose. So if this is your first time to do a yoga class, our child's pose usually looks like this. You have seen this in a lot of videos, in a lot of photos, but I'm going to guide you through it so that you have a lot of progressions. So first, how do we do this? Take your knees first. You have an option to put it together. This will allow you some space for your heart so that you can reach forward a little bit. Or you can take your knees hip-width distance apart, like usual. Or you can take your knees really wide as your mat. Big toes will touch at the back. And then we're going to land our hips on your heels. And then we're going to reach your hands forward, allowing the side bodies to open. And then forehead will ground down. Now, options, regressions first. If you feel like your hips are not going down to the heels, that's fine. We're going to find our blocks. We're going to find your pillows, your blankets. Place them here at the middle. We're going to give ourselves a nice seat, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 blocks, however you want, how much you want it. I'm going to place it here at the middle of my ankle so that you can take a seat like that. Yeah. And then also, if this is still not enough, get yourself a blanket. You're going to roll it good, roll it thick, and then we're going to place it here on your inner thighs like this, so that when you fold down, there's not much pressure there on your knees, right? And then the next one is that we're going to take our blocks, our props, maybe to the heart, if this feels good, or maybe here on our forehead like that. So you have so much options. Feel free to do whatever you want with your child's pose. So those. Now, for the progressions, if you feel like you don't need props and you need more opening on your shoulders and on your hips, I'm going to guide you through that as well. So how do you do that? So first is, again, knees really wide, on top both of your feet, big toes touching at the back. Set the hips on your heels and land your hands forward like this. So heart is down to the mat. I'm just not gonna press it because I have my mic there. Forehead will ground down. Option to progress here is to take your hands in prayer, and then we're gonna land your hands towards the back of your head like this. If we have some more today, we're gonna open your palms, and then we're gonna press it here at the back of your shoulders. So you're reaching your elbows forward, allowing this opening on your side bodies, and we're pressing your armpits down to the mat so that you can feel your armpits pressing down or really opening the shoulders here. So see what feels good for you, okay? I'm going to stay here low. We're going to stay for 8 cycles of the breath. Whenever you're ready, inhale and exhale. Breathe in, create some stillness in the body, and then breathe out. Last 6. 5. 4. Allow the hips to really feel heavy on your heels. Release the tension in your lower back. Reaching your hands forward so you can release the tension in your core and your upper back, your middle back. And the last 3. 2. Last 1. And then let's release. Very nice. Open your eyes. How do we release your child's pose? Gently crawl with your hands. Go back to your seat or go back to your tabletop. Slowly take your knees hip width distance apart once more. Swing the hips side to side, making sure nothing is painful there. Once you feel you're good, take a seat on your heels like that. Release your hands, shake it in, making sure nothing is painful. All right. You guys good so far? So that one, your child's pose, you can do it anytime. You can do it on your bed. Anything that you feel that you have a level ground, feel free to do that. Again, option with your props if it feels good in your lower back. We're going to do everything really gentle, really slow so that nothing is painful. Lower back can also be opened once our hips are open, the front and the back, and of course, really opening your core as well so that anything surrounding your lower back is open so that blood and pressure and energy will flow. All right, so let's go with your next one. We call this the supine twists. Well, we have an option to sit down, or we also have an option to lie down. So I'm gonna go and guide you to each. Okay, so if you're sitting down on a chair, you can do this as well. So how do we do that? We'll go with the seated first. So seated side twist. So if you're in a chair, you can go and do this as well. I'm gonna go and start with my right foot, right leg. So bending the right knee, stepping that right foot here near my hip. If you are on a chair, maybe that chair has that space at the middle, here in front of the bum. Just press that in. Maybe land the hand at the back of the chair if you are in a chair. If not, this is good on the floor. And then left hand, left arm is going to wrap on your right leg like this. And then roll the shoulders down and back so you can open your heart to a twist on the right, gazing at the back All right, so not much weight on your right hand, on your back hand. So you can really feel this twist on your lower back, like this. If you want a progression in this one, we're going to extend that hand, your left hand up, and then we're going to hook that elbow on your outer right knee. So you can find a twist. Just an option, not a progression. Maybe hand is up, maybe hand is down on the hip, like this. Okay, so making sure you're good. You can also grab at the back of the chair so that you can get a good grip. Now, if you are lying down, if you want to do this lying down, first is that land all of your lower back, your middle back, your upper back down to the mat. Bend the knee to the heart first, like this, clasping your hands on your shin. This is already good enough. Okay, this will feel a lot of flow on your lower back. If we have some more, right hand will extend to a T on the right side. And then we're going to bend the right knee. We're going to drop it towards your left side like this. And there you go. So heart is still facing the sky. Right shoulder is down on the mat. Maybe your left hand is going to press into the right knee to ground it down near your earth. But if it doesn't connect perfectly, fine. Remember our props, if it's there, we're going to place it here on the shin, maybe on the knee, so that you'll feel more comfortable here. So we're staying here not too long, 8 cycles of the breath. Allow all of your upper body to soften, relax your shoulders down. If you want to progress here, you can gaze at your right shoulder, or maybe you can close your eyes. Breathe in long, and then breathing out. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, feel yourself expanding. Exhale, feel yourself feeling heavy on the mat. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale, soften the hips. Exhale, soften the shoulders. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And then slowly we're going to come back to our present moment. We're going to come back here, bend the knee, back to your heart. If you did this on a chair, release that right leg down to the mat. Shake the hips, shake the shoulders, shake the body, making sure nothing is painful. All right. We're going to do everything on the opposite side. So again, either seated on a chair, on the floor, or lying down. Okay? So supine twist or seated side twist on the side. This time, left knee will bend to the heart. So find a ground on your left foot here. If you are in a chair, make some space. And then slowly your right hand, right arm is going to wrap on your left leg. Left hand will reach back, maybe far, maybe near. See what feels good. Inhale, we're going to lengthen. And then exhale, we're going to twist. Find a counter stretch. So gaze at your left shoulder, or close your eyes, or gaze at your left thumb if you are lying down. And just notice the breath here. And what we usually say, send the breath on your lower, send the breath where there is tension. In this moment, if it's in your lower back, send all of your breath there and allow the energy to flow through you. Every inhale, give yourself space. And every exhale, use that space to really give in. Bring the breath in. Descend with the breath and let go. Last 5 here. 4. 3, last 2, last 1. And then let's release. Open the eyes, come back to your present moment, release your hands, release the bind, release the left leg to the top. If you were lying down, shake it in, swing the hips side to side if you have some more. Very good. Hope you're okay. Let me know if that was too much. This time around, we're going to try your legs on the wall pose. So you have an option to do this beside the wall. I can guide you through it, of course. Let's go there. So if you want to set it up, I have my wall here. And then I'm going to land my props there. So, of course, my mat. Preferably a space where you don't have a plug, because one will allow blood flow from our lower back towards our head. Block 1 or 2. I have here the soft one. If you have the thick one or the cork one, that's also fine, but maybe you can put a blanket at the top so that the edges won't give you. Here on the side first, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So, facing the wall, I'm going to go and lie down, take my hips really near the wall. So lower back, middle back, upper back, head down like this. And then this is already good. I'm going to extend my feet to the wall like this, planting my feet maybe hip width distance apart. Point or flex, maybe feet together if this feels good. Taking my hips really to the wall like that. Yeah? This will allow us some body, like a flow. And if we have some more, remember the prop that we have done? We're going to take it here on your lower back, on your hip, like that. So this is your Viparita Kirani, legs up the wall, literally, pose. Hands onto the side, take them wide or hands up and overhead, maybe hands on opposite elbows even. If I'm around, 8 cycles of the breath will do. So if you have your blankets there, you have your pillows, you have an option to take your hips higher, but it won't last because your head will grab a lot of blood there and energy, and you might feel dizzy coming out of this pose. So just do it at a nice level. Relaxing, feeling your toes a little bit more cold, and just allowing the blood to flow through your hips, your lower back towards the head. This is the same feeling that we have when we do an inversion, like your downward facing dog, or if you are in your inversions practice already, where your heart is higher than the head. It gives us a more blood flow, especially in our upper extremities, that we usually don't have because we've been sitting or standing for the longest time. Last 5 cycles of the breath here. Take in 4. If you don't have the wall, you can do this without the wall. Just extend both of your feet up. Last 3. Last 2. Soften the face. Last 1. And then slowly, let's release. Very nice. How do we get out of this pose? Bend the knees first, plant the feet on the wall, and then release your props onto the sides. Lift your hips a little, and then release your hips down. We're going to lean into one side, and then slowly come back to your seat, like that. Okay? So, release the hips. If that was too much on the head and you feel dizzy, take a seat first and just close your eyes for a moment. Okay? So, make sure nothing is painful. Let's go at the center of your mat. So what does your yoga squat look like? So it looks like this. So I usually start first with my feet a little bit wide, maybe wider than the hips or wider, as wide as my mat. Toes are going to turn out to the side, and then I'm going to bend my knees, land my hips down, elbows against the knees, and then hands in prayer to the heart. So on the side, this is what it looks like that. There you go. So this is your yoga squat. This can be really challenging for some. How do we do a regression here? First, the block, 1 or 2, we're going to place it on our hip so that we can take a seat here. Yeah, this is the best one, I can say. So 1 or 2 blocks, probably the harder kind of a block, like a cork block, like this. And then knees, open it to the side as far as you want, as far as you can, like this. Yeah, like that. And then elbows against the knees, hands and pray to the heart. This is the best one. If we have more today, we're going to plant the feet really near our bum so that there's a good fight between the elbows and the knees, and hands in prayer will press in. We're going to lead with the heart open. So keeping the spine straight, we're going to roll the shoulders down and back, lifting your heart up here. So what we're feeling here is that we're getting support from our glutes. So we're clenching in. It's not inactive. So we're going to clench the glutes here so that even without your elbows on your knees, your knees are really pressing away from each other like that. So there's the activation there. Core is engaged. We're rooting the crown of your head up, and then hands in prayer here. So releasing the tension in your low back. Release the tension like so. Now, if you don't have a block and you're here, perfectly fine. You can stay here. You can also remember your props, your blanket, roll it thick, and then we're going to place it here on your inner thighs. It will look like this. Yeah? Or your arms, even if you don't have a prop, but you want it. That's it. But this can be weird on your hands. Where there's not going to be a blood flow there pretty soon. You can also roll your mat like this. So I'm going to roll my mat as thick as I can, probably up to the middle, because my mat is thick. If your mat isn't thick, you can roll the whole thing. Plug my heels there, take them wide, and then toes are down, and then find your malasana or your yoga squat, like this. So much options. See what feels good for the body today. Okay? There. 8 cycles of the breath wherever you are. Close the eyes if it feels safe. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last 5. 4. 3. Keep the spine straight and long. Last 2. Last 1. And release. Very nice. Open your eyes. Release your hands. Release blocks. Release your pops first. Give your hips a little wiggle. I usually release my hips from Malasana like this. When do I first plant my feet wide and then swing the hips side to side. So neutralizing the spine, maybe a quick massage on my side glutes even. All right. Hope you're good. You're still. Let's go for one more. So this time, we're going to do your forward fold with a rag. Now, if you haven't tried the forward fold before, I'm going to guide you through it. If you have done this, feel free to go there already. I'm going to give you some progressions. So how do you do your ragdoll? So gently plant both of your feet, hip-width distance apart, and then hands are going to be here in front. Usually your ragdoll is when your hands are on opposite elbows, and then you're going to let all of your upper body to feel heavy here. Arms are going to be here beside the ears. Now, pressing to the toes rather than the heels. Now, this feels really challenging, especially the hamstrings if you haven't done this. So, option with your forward fold, take your blocks long or wide or low, like that. So, land your hands there. This is already good. We're going to be kind to our body today. So give yourself permission to bend the knees as deep as you want, as deep as you can, if this is really not an option. If your hands are not on the floor, maybe take your hands to the shins. This is also forward fold, all right? Bend the knees one by one, wiggle it. If you need more opening here, need more space to breathe. And then once you feel that you're good, take a micro bend in the knees and let your heart really gently press to the thighs as near as it can. If the knees are bent like this, if it looks like this is still a forward fold, just to make sure that your hip is still higher than the heart here. All right. We want to release the lower back here. So hands can stay here on your mat, on your block, on your pillow, wherever. Or hands on opposite elbows and allow the head to really feel heavy here. So the crown of your head is pointing to the mat. You have an option to nod a yes or a no. Feel the neck, the head more loose. You can also swing side to side if you want. Now your challenge here is that if you feel like your weight is just on your heels, we're going to press and plug to the toes. There you go. So you're feeling that length. Micro bend the knees if this is not accessible for today. Clench the quads so you can support your hamstrings. Gently feeling that stretch on your calves, on your thighs, maybe to the tailbone. Not gonna stay here long. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Look forward first. Hands onto your blocks or to your shins. Looking forward to lengthen the spine. And then release. Bend the knees. Let's take a seat here on your mat. There you go. Hope you're good. Find some space to release the tension first. If that was so much challenging, that's all right. That's perfectly fine. Hamstrings are sometimes the part wherein we need to release because this one helps us with your lower back. So when we said earlier that the lower back, we're not just targeting that part, we're also targeting the areas on the sides of it that comes with your hamstrings and all of your hips. All right. I hope you're good. Let's see if we can do more. So this time we have your bound angle pose or your Baddha Konasana in Hindu. So how do we do that? It looks like this. Feet to the center, knees open to the side, hands on ankles or toes. And then it folds down. How do we progress and regress? First off, find your feet wherever it wants to land. So sometimes feet is far. Feet can be here at the middle, or feet can be near the hip, like this. Okay? So this is already good enough. Maybe hands can be on the knees. You can find yourself on the wall if you feel like it's not going good if you're here at the center of your mat or leaning forward too much. Okay? So you can take a seat on your wall. You can also do this on a chair if your chair can allow you to find some space at the middle. All right? And then hands will be here on the ankles and then wrapping your hands on your toes. Now, when we fold down, our elbows usually is pressing on your inner thighs, maybe near the knees, here on the shins, or if we have some more today, it's going to go land on the floor like this. Okay, so you have 2 options here in this pose. First off is that spine will still stay straight even if we go down. So straight, like that. So it's not curving the back. Okay? So it's like shooting your heart forward rather than pulling down. The next one is, of course, the other way around. It's curving the back. So from the tailbone, remember when we did our cat? So tuck the tailbone, belly is in, shoulder blades will widen to the side, the chin will press the chest like this, and then that's when you fold down. So the crown of your head is going down, really curving the back, rooting your belly towards your spine, and just feeling this curve, this stretch towards the occiput, folding down. So that's the second option. The third option is just staying here. So a seat, maybe chin will press to the chest, maybe hands on your knees even to take it a little bit near, maybe bounce it off like that. So see what feels good for today. So sometimes in one practice, you can go really deep down, and sometimes you can't. That's how it is. That's why it's called a practice. Okay, so find your option whenever you're ready. Hands on ankles or toes. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, do your fold or do not fold, whichever feels good. We're going to stay here for 8 cycles of the breath. So close your eyes and notice how the lower back releases tension here. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And then slowly, let's release. Slowly rise, open the eyes, and then release your hands. Very nice. Gently lean back with the hands. Plug the knees together as low as you can. Plant the feet to the mat. Take them wide. Windshield wipers once more, left and right. There you go. Notice the breath. Remember the pranayama that we did earlier? Dirga pranayama, lower belly, lower chest, lower throat. Give yourself some space. If you need to focus on that, go and do that. Okay. One last pose for today. Let's go find your seated forward fold. So earlier we did a standing forward fold with a ragdoll. This time around we're going to do it seated. How do we do that? So extend both of your feet to the top of your mat. You have an option to point the feet, to flex, or to floint. So we see what feels good for the ankles and the toes today. You can open the thighs, the glutes out wide. You can ground your sit bones here a little bit more. And then hands onto the mat. Now, if this is not accessible today, that when you fold down, your knees usually bend, that's perfectly fine. Remember your blankets, your pillows, your blocks. You can place it here first at the bottom of your knees so your knees can stay bent. Or find pillows here, 1, 2, or 3 in front of you. Yeah, so that when you fold down, you have support. Or if you don't have props, perfectly fine. You can just fold as many or as deep as you want, or as low as you can. Let's go and give it a try. Inhale, hands up high first. We're going to find length. Energize from your fingertips, reaching up, up, up. And then on your exhale, keeping with the length, you're going to fold down. So reaching forward, heart shooting forward, hips shooting back. There you go. Hands wherever it lands. To the shins, maybe to the mat. If you have your hands plugging in near your feet, you can go and plug it on your ankles. Maybe to the sides of your feet. If you have your flex practice, flex the feet. Vick your fingers. Remember we did this. Vick your fingers on the big toes. Plug it in like that. And then elbows will bend to the sides. Okay? So whichever feels good. Yeah. Close your eyes. Soften the face. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. And then let's release. Open your eyes. And then release. Release the bind if you did that with me. Hands onto the side and dasana. So usually this one has a counter stretch. You have an option to just stay here, or if you want to try it with me, take your hands, 1 or 2 hands away from your hips, plug it at the back. Fingertips are going to point to the top of your mat. Toes are going to point as well. On an inhale, we're going to bend the elbows, pointing to the back. And then on your exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone. And then we're just going to lift our hips up. And then heart is going to come up as well, reverse plank. Tucking in the tailbone, toes to the ground. Just one big breath here. Look up. And then release. Fold down like this. Very nice. So that's it. That's all of your poses for your lower back. If you have some more that you need to work on, feel free to just comment. Let's see if we can nurture or cultivate or nourish that on our next practice. Thank you so much.